bigger. These are the ones I've been using to do my little planting, and that's why I get like a 50% rate. But I'll try, you know, and obviously you can see that some of them are too small to really, you know,
be viable.
Depend.
Yeah, some of
You know,
those are
compared to this, these are nice
hefty.
and dark, and they're very viable. So this is what we're going to be using to plant. And I'm gonna
Where
get
did she find those seeds?
Nicaragua. I
Oh,
think.
Nicaragua. Awesome.
So even though you see lots of seeds here, not all, they're maybe good for eating, but not so good for planting. So what we're going to do, let's go inside real quick, and we're going to try that seed test, and then let's walk down there and
Cool.
start our seeds.
Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Wow. Some breeze. This is nice.
Load this full of soil. Since there's just,
So this is already a mixture.
yeah, this is already mixed. This is what came out of her Moringa boxes. So it's got the perfect mix. It's got
Plus you're recycling the soil.
yeah, I'm recycling. So I had worm compost in it already. It had plants going in it already, so that there is beneficial fungi in there, especially in mycorrhizal. And really, if you wanted to add mycorrhizal fungi, you could just literally pick up some of the shavings here, the mulch, and it's in the mulch. Yeah. And or the mulch, if you want it indigenous to your area, find mulch that's under one of these oak trees. Under one of these oak trees, perfect source of the beneficial fungi, especially for their layers of leaf. It's all going on under there. If you dug up some leaf, as in any kind of foresty area, you're going to find the acidamide.
With the worm
seeds
too.
growing. Yeah, I got a worm. Somebody can get a worm in there. Okay. I think we have enough for the 3 of you. And I'm going to wet it.
Whole bunch
You know
of
what?
worms
I'm
in
not
there.
gonna do one because I'm gonna be driving.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm saying that my brother lives in Temecula, and I
Okay.
have to drive to Riverside to go to.
Okay. So we're just going to be
HCD.
doing this, and we're going to
But
talk
yeah,
about that,
whatever you
and I'm going
want.
to show them the
Perfect.
roots. So did you need to go now, or?
Oh no, I just
okay.
I don't want to take
Oh,
something
okay.
that I.
Okay.
It might be hot and.
Yeah. So see how this just goes right
Yeah.
through. Right. But okay. So I'm going to wet it so it's compact. You made mud pies when you were young. Come on. We all went through them or did something. And we're going to compact it with these sticks. You can pick your own stick, right, to kind of put it in there and compact it down. So you're literally going to get this, and I'll wet this up. Ooh, that's hot. I do have a sink back there behind the former outhouse working to wash your hands off when we're done. So I'm going to really get this at
Then you
that
don't
mud
have to water the
consistency.
soil then. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and that way your seed also is going to have
The moisture.
already be moistened.
Good job.
So we just want it to be a loose mud pie consistency. And you notice the other containers that I showed you where I actually had seedlings, they actually went to here. Well, the reason this one is because as somebody who's taking a seed and planting it, I want you to keep it for the year in here. So I want to give you a longer pot so that you don't have to just take it out of the soil and then, you know, maybe cause it stress, which you really can't with these kind of trees, but so that you have a holding place for the year, okay, for it to just really grow.
And where would you place that so that you could make sure,
You know what? Put
not
it,
forgetting about it and have to
put
water
it
it
where
every
you, if you have places where you're doing watering plants constantly, because you want to keep this moist.
in the shade or in the sun?
Preferably
partial?
the sun or partial sunshade is fine. But put it in a place where you know you're watering some other pots around it. And because we have this soil that's kind of 50-50 perlite is the white rock. I have a whole bag of it right there, the green bag. I'll show you.
Wow, you can buy a big bulk
Yeah,
like
if
that.
you go to crop production services here in town, you get a whole bag of it. This was about 20 bucks. So here it is. Yep. And this is a fine grade. They have one that's a little bit coarser. Really. Doesn't
What
have
is
much-
perlite? Is it just like a
like styrofoam.
volcanic
It is.
rock?
You know, I have to look it up and give you
yeah.
the right answer.
It's
but
like puffed something.
I think it's more of a
It's a
natural
natural-
thing, not a
It's
styrofoam.
completely
Yeah.
natural.
It feels like
It
styrofoam.
feels like styrofoam, but that's why I've never really used it much
No,
because
that's why. No,
feels
it is-
fake.
Yeah, no, it's not at all.
Yeah.
It's a
Crazy.
natural component. It's rock. And it helps to again create that air
Yeah.
and air pockets in your soil. It breaks down too over
Oh,
time.
okay.
Rock. Don't need that rock. Okay, you guys ready to get your hands dirty?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and fill it up, and then as you're filling it up, get one of the sticks and compact it down.
How much do you fill up before you compact? Like halfway in compact?
It's just kind of for feel. I mean, you're just trying to make sure.
You're just
it's in
kind of
there.
pushing it.
Yeah,
You're not
just
really
pushing it
shoving
down.
it down too hard.
How
You're
tight
pushing
do
it-
you want it?
Just like that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just trying to make sure you get a nice seal,
the
especially down
bottom.
at the bottom.
Sure.
And the rest, as you compact it down, because it's wet now, it's going to compact itself pretty easily. Okay, so once you compact it down, I'm just going to shake it in there. I'm going to use my hand. And then, okay, so I left a little bit of, maybe about an inch, because I might want to put mulch or something down in there,
Okay.
on top of it, because it's going to be growing a year. You get a smaller stick, like this one, let's say, and I'm going to poke that down because that's where my seed is going to go.
Oh, cool.
And I don't have an undirty hand at this point, but it's okay. The seeds won't mind.
So about maybe an inch.
Yeah,
They have.
the typical rule for seeds is you put the seed down as deep as the width. So if this is a half an inch, let's say, or quarter inch, you want the seed to be covered by as much as
The length
its
of the seed.
thickness. Yeah. So I'm going to put it down there, right here. Put it down there, and I'm going to cover it.
So it doesn't matter which way it faces.
No,
or
it doesn't matter
anything?
which way it faces. And this one's good to go.
Good.
A little dirty, we'll wash it off, but it's good to go. We love dirt. There you go.
Awesome.
Just
Okay,
reach
so you
in
guys
here
go
and get a
ahead.
seed.
Yeah, go ahead and get a seed.
I'm gonna-
So I forget, for me, I do a lot of tests, trial and error, and I want to see what makes it. So I just put these in this month.
How deep?
They go in a foot.
Okay.
You want to cut them preferably about 3 feet long. The diameter, it'll say, you can read someplace, it'll say 1 inch to whatever, but a good 2 inches.
Okay.
Hotter climates probably even more. Here are some that we cut recently.
I don't think my tree's like.
And you
big
can
enough.
tell the color, there's a little bit of green in there, and the weight. Feel
Oh,
the
yeah.
weight of that.
It's heavy.
You know that that's alive.
It's got a lot of food inside of it for that
Yes,
stuff to grow.
It's ready to go. So what I invite you to do is actually plant one in here.
Awesome.
And
So
you can
do
see,
you have to wait a certain period of time after you like cut it before you plant it, or can you do
well,
it right away?
these, what we found is different in other areas, but if this sat around all year,
Might
it's
not be so
okay,
good.
but you kind of want to use it within this year. And then you just feel it. You can feel the weight in it. And this has been cut, so had it been longer, there might be more energy dispersed throughout. Now I'm shortening it because I'm drying. These ends are going to dry out quicker now. So, and we also mark them, so you put T for top, and B maybe B for bottom, but
Oh,
T
so
for
you
top,
can
so you know
plant
which.
them the right direction.
And then also cut them at an angle so that you can push them in the dirt a little bit easier, like a sphere.
I guess my question is, could you do them right away as soon as you cut it?
Yes,
Oh, you can?
absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, that's the better thing to do. So we might just dig this out and get a shovel. Can you get the shovel? We're gonna plant. And I want to show you the roots. See how they get bulbous? And I actually put this in the compost over there just to store, and it was totally the wrong thing to do.
Why?
Because the worms thought, oh, look it.
Oh, it's food.
Food. So you could have a live peach in there that's still good. What are the worms going to do? They're going to eat it. They
Yeah.
started to eat this. Yet this was starting to grow. Look, it's starting to grow.
So the roots will grow even if they're outside of the ground.
Yeah, this started to grow. So these, but I kept these out to show, and the roots could be out of the ground for years. You preferably want to keep them in the shade.
Yeah, what was that one she had out?
Yeah, she had
Like
it out.
10 years or
10
something
years. They
ridiculous like that?
planted and it's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Oh my
these roots,
goodness.
so she had trees in these avocado bins, not these, but those over there, and we dug them out, and they were huge. They were huge. They were like these babies.
Can you take cuttings of the roots and then plant them? Or do
I
they
don't
have
know
to stay
about
together?
that.
You can
I
separate
think you
some.
should be able to,
I'm curious.
and I am going to do that.
So this,
Because these sometimes, especially the little ones, they die.
Do you want this shovel?
how deep down did
Here,
you
let
go?
me
Just
a foot. So I
6
wanted to
inches
give
or
you the
something?
sense of, okay, it's a cutting. And another thing about cutting this, it's so, it's almost herbaceous. Here, look at that. I'm going to move this out of your way. These don't cut like normal trees. You've cut them, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really just rip. I mean, I haven't cut some big ones.
When you cut them, it's very herbaceous. Like a giant.
Or what do you mean by
Well, herbaceous, like if you were cutting a cucumber or a carrot, it doesn't cut like regular wood. It doesn't
Oh.
cut like, oh, I'm trying to saw through this hard piece. It just, it's kind of
Like
scary.
easier
'Cause
to
they,
cut?
yes,
Yeah, they can cut pretty easily.
they cut very, very
You just
easily.
use like a hand saw?
A handsaw. Yeah. Okay, so let's demonstrate here. Oop, got that. So I'm going to dig this out, and that's what I did with those over there. I just stuck them in the ground close together, and whichever ones take, I'll eventually just pull them out and replant them.
About a foot down.
Yeah, that's about a foot right there. Yeah, that'll do. And just dig it back in. And voila, ready to go. I keep it moist. That's
With the
fun
dripper?
thing. Yes, this is a drippers that I had set up for my
Grape cutting.
no, for my straw bale.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
And so what happened is I had these drippers on here with these little contractions, and they were terrible because they just broke right off. So I put new dripper line, so now I can extend
Okay.
spaghetti tubing to it if I want. But I actually, because I've just started the farm, I'm actually hand watering.
Yeah.
So I come out and check things, because otherwise I might have it in a timer and I don't know if something's going wrong. And I'm really enjoying just seeing the progress.
So at
Definitely.
this point, you don't really have this system quite set up yet.
It's all set up to go. I have it.
You just have to
connected
do your
over
little
there.
line.
I just need it. I can turn it on right now. I just don't have any drippers attached to it.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Let me show you here. When we put this in the ground, now I just put those a foot in a planter box.
Okay.
But to make a cage for it, okay, this is using, oh look, I got a little worm in here. Okay, this is using chicken wire. And this actually, I do about 1.5 feet. You know, you want this is a 2 foot. And really easy to make. In fact, I'll show you over here. Let's go back to the meeting area over there and I'll show you a store-bought one. Okay? So what we're going to do is basically put this in the ground and then put the cutting in 1 foot deep in the soil. And what I do so that it doesn't, and this is for gophers. Gophers basically travel on the surface of the soil. They're not going to, they will go deeper, maybe even 6 feet deep when they're going to their hole, their home, okay, their nesting area. But typically they don't really go past 1 foot to 1.5 feet. So digging this way. So the likelihood of one getting in, even if I left this open, it would just be by chance because he's going down to his den and then coming back up. But what I do is, you can see I just twisted with this with my fingers. I line them up and then I just wrap them around each other. And that worm is still there. Let me make sure he doesn't get hurt. And then to seal the bottom, I just do this. And I'll even fold it in half. Okay. And I'll press it down. And then when I put it in the hole, okay, say this is in the soil. Sometimes when you dig with a shovel, it's not a perfect square. It's rounded. And maybe it's deeper right in the middle. I can push down here and it'll open up. And it'll even take the shape of the hole.
Nice.
See? I can turn it up. It'll take the shape of the hole. And you've got this wonderful...
Do you ever have to pull it out? Or do you just leave it in there?
This is the first time. So there you go.
Cool.
Easy peasy. You know,
Are those all moringas on that line?
yeah, I think I heard you say, where do I find the time to do all this? Where do I find the time to do this?
I know. Where do
you know, do you watch TV?
No.
Ever? No.
I mean, I
nobody
watch.
TV?
I
I
watch
haven't watched
some
TV in 20
Netflix
A movie. Do you watch a
I
movie?
watch YouTube.
Okay, YouTube. So my hands are always busy. Or instead of watching TV, or I'm not a YouTuber, I'm out here doing
Yeah,
stuff.
doing stuff.
Or when everybody says, "Oh, I'm going to go rest," I'm like, "Yeah, but I am resting. I'm just
Yeah, this
planting
is
things
when
while
you're
I'm
feeling your
resting."
passion. You can
It's
work and it's not work.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me show you a
My
store-bought
husband-
one.
When are you gonna tune me in?
Here's this one.
I could do this
there.
stuff all day.
Here's a store-bought one. You know, you're going to pay like $5, I think, for
That's
this.
ridiculous.
And look at it. And it's great. I thought, oh, I can't duplicate this. Look, it's sealed on the sides. It's got this thing.
No.
And it's basically the same thing. You're going to take it, and then maybe, I'm going to stick my foot in here. I'm going to take a chance.
Don't fall over.
And then you're going to try to
That's terrible.
create this
Yeah, that
space,
feels
right?
like a worse design.
But look at this, doesn't bend. It's pretty.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll have to do this to get it in my hole because, I'm sorry, I just make rounded kind of holes, right?
Right.
And there you go. But you've paid like $5 for this,
Mhm.
or $6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go. So which one would you use? And let me show you one of the cuttings, because I planted these last month. It's actually growing some moringas coming out from it. And I just noticed this a couple days ago. Right here. You can see it. There's a couple, but
Oh yeah,
Oh.
she's coming in.
it's coming in from the bottom.
And what
And I've got drippers to this, so
Okay.
and you can see my cage right here.
Oh, okay.
And I do leave it open above because sometimes the gophers come out and they travel on the ground a little bit. So,
So you leave it sticking out
I want
a
to
little
make
bit?
sure they get discouraged from
Like you fold it
diving
over,
in this
fold it
way.
over.
Yeah, I still let it come up above the surface.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of that happening. And then mulch, lots of mulch on the top to keep the moisture in and
How
nutrients
much moisture
in.
do they need?
They need to be moist. They need to be kept moist.
Are you like watering it twice a day? What are you doing?
No, maybe once a day. But I have really good moisture holding capacity in this soil.
Yeah, I'm doing 2 times a day right now in Phoenix, morning and
Yeah,
night.
see?
But it's really hot. I'm gonna reduce it to once a day when it drops below 100. Right there.
So what I need to be doing is harvesting. And you can harvest at least twice, 2 to 3 times, but up to 7 times during the season.
Okay.
I could
That's what
keep
was
harvesting.
trying to
Just
figure
keep
out.
harvesting. I mean, this could be down to maybe no leaves. When we harvested and helped harvest at Marita's farm, yeah, we took every leaf off. But that doesn't mean that the branch isn't going to still continue to grow.
Oh, look at this
Now
root.
the
It's breaking the pot.
Yeah, these are all
blossoms,
pots that have breaks and need to be
you want
repotted.
to leave
into
some of
bigger
the
pots.
blossoms so that they can make the pods, right?
Yes. Oh, these will all turn into pods.
Or you could pick them and
Pick them, eat them, make tea out of the flower.
When do they start making pods?
I had pods a year after the first year.
I meant like when in the season. So now the flowers are out. So within
They
like,
come
a
out of
month,
the
they're
flowers.
gonna-
Yeah, it'll come out of the flower, but it should start coming out.
Yeah, about a month, I could think, because I got about August, late August is when the pods, I think, were there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
After.
Yeah. So then
And they
it's
were
coming to
just
the end of
starting
its
to
cycle.
bloom
So that
now.
would be a signal then, right? 'Cause it's sending out the seed.
Yeah, sending out the seed, and then for us here, August, September, October, November.
Moringa for life.